Guys, it's Jason and welcome back to my channel for another vlog session. Brought to you by Mr. Pac-Man. If you can see him, he's right here. He is amazingly awesome and he makes sound effects. I didn't get to show you him last time, but he was a Christmas present and he's awesome. Like, he's really cool. This is my wall of achievements. My medal from culinary arts for superiority, I guess. I don't know, like superación, if that means anything. Oh yeah, and also, show me the hole in the wall! That actually has been there for a while now. That was actually an act of anger. I'm kind of embarrassed by it now that I show you guys. But I'm vlogging you guys today because I actually have a couple things going on. Right now I got some really cool and exciting news from this morning, and unfortunately I'm not going to tell you guys just yet because I don't want to jinx it. Just cross your fingers, and later on, eventually, if it does happen, I'll be able to let you guys know about it. And the second thing is I think this vlog will fit into the hate for the cell phone companies series of videos that there are. I know Matthew Santoro did one, and I freaking rolled my ass on the floor just laughing about it because I know exactly how he feels. I feels you, bro. I know exactly how the hell you feel right now. When I first got here, I had a phone from Sprint, which is this iPhone 5 I'm recording on now. And when I got here to San Sebastian, where I live now, no signal. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I had 1X, barely any internet. I was miserable. I couldn't do anything. I battled it out with them. Like, I just let it be for about like 5 months. I said, screw it. They don't want to do anything for me. And then I called again, and I'm like, listen, what's going on? It's been 5 months. You guys told me you're going to have better signal in my area. There's nothing going on. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to take you to our back office, and then we'll hook you up over there. Sorry, I got a little... And we'll hook you up over there. So what ended up eventually happening after an email bout with them back and forth, they ended up telling me, okay, fine, you're scheduled for termination of your contract without having to pay the early termination fee. And I'm like, sweet, you know what I mean? I'm not going to use you guys, so why the hell am I going to have you? That, and it was like $100+ for just my one phone, so it was like definitely not worth it, especially not being able to use it. So that happened. So thanks to that, I got to keep this phone, which basically serves as my iPod now, because my next phone actually didn't start out as, sorry guys, didn't start out as an iPhone 5. It actually started out as an iPhone 5C, which was blue. It was like a baby bluish color. I don't even know how to describe it. Those of you that have it know it is completely adorable. It is cute. I love it. I love it. I wanted it, and that's why I got it. Unfortunately, now this is where it gets really stupid, because to be honest with you, like, I just don't understand it myself. And T-Mobile here in Puerto Rico is its own company, but yet they have the T-Mobile logo, like, and it's because they bought out Suncom, which was here way back in the day, and they took over those towers and all that mess, and so that's why, like, now there's T-Mobile USA and T-Mobile Puerto Rico, so that just kind of really just ruins everything to begin with, because I don't want to have to deal with people in Spanish when I call freaking customer service. So there goes that, but whatever. And then I go to actually purchase the phone, blah blah blah, like do the whole process in the, like, mind you, I had to travel to a mall that's like an hour away from my house because everything else was closed on a freaking Saturday or Sunday. I think it was a Sunday, and everything closes early here on Sunday. So like I had to travel like an hour away to this one mall in order to get this phone. And it was awesome up until the point where the guy told me that they only had 16 GB iPhone 5S's and iPhone 5C's, and I'm like, what? Like, seriously? Like, and I even asked him if they could send for one, and he said no. And I'm like, what? Again? Like, no. Like, this is insane. Like, I want either a 32 GB or 64 GB phone. That way I'm not carrying around two phones like I am now. And I mean, not like I mind, considering there are two really cool phones. I love them to death, but like, I just want to carry one phone with all of my everything on it, all my apps, all my games, all my music, everything, TV. God, the things I do on my phones, and I just want on one phone to do it on. I don't want to have two phones. I don't want to have to listen to music on one phone and do everything else with the other, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a kick in the head at first, but then I got used to it. I didn't care as much, you know, whatever. And then I ended up having it. The screen ended up breaking. It ended up coming out. I think like that was an actual factory like faulty, was that like the screen would pop out. So instead of actually like a smart person would do, sending it in for repairs with the warranty that they offer, I rather go out and pay a third person to change the screen. Now, why? The screen that he put in, the screen, because I'm impatient and I wanted, you know, instant gratification. So they replace the screen, and the screen is jacked up. Like the screen's messed up. The resolution is like shitty as all hell. The what else? And then the sensor for the light. I don't know if everybody does this, but I like to use the automatic brightness on my iPhone. And it's because when I'm outside, I want to be able to see it and not have to bother myself with changing it or lowering it or putting it higher. So I use the automatic brightness feature, and before I left the store, I realized that it was dimming itself but not brightening itself. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? I put it up to direct light. I put it out in the sun. Nothing. And I was like, okay, so I went up to the guy and I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. He's like, oh, well then the screen was probably messed up when we got it. Just wait until we don't have any more right now. You got the last one. Just wait until we get the new shipment, and then I'll replace it for you again. And I'm like, okay, and you don't have to pay for it this time. I'm like, okay, cool, you know. So I replaced this, you know, finally it came in. I replaced the screen again, and 3 days later of changing the screen, I apparently fell asleep on my phone and cracked the whole top part where the speaker and the camera and the sensor is. And I had to be like, it had to be like that for about a couple months, because we didn't really have the money for me to go actually claim it with insurance and so on and so forth. So once I finally got to claim it with insurance, I call and they're like, well, they're supposed to give you at least a refurbished phone. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. When I first bought this phone, I was promised that I would get a brand new one. You know, we're paying $175 deductible, plus the phone still isn't even completely paid for, considering I had to finance it, pay a freaking deposit, a whole bunch of mess. The phone still isn't even paid off, and I have to, number one, trade in my old device, which is unheard of, considering I've never had to do that in my entire life of cell phones, ever, and insurance on cell phones. I've never had to turn in my device ever, you know what I mean? Whether it be broken, stolen, or whatever, it didn't matter. Never had to do it. And here I had, on top of giving them my old phone, I had to receive the refurbished one. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll work with the refurbished one, whatever, whatever. I go to the T-Mobile that's closest to me, which is about like 30, 45 minutes. No, it's about like 45 minutes away. And I go to the closest T-Mobile to me, and I go there. And this lady that took care of me, you can tell she was just a snooty bitch. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm part of my language right now, but she was very snooty, and I didn't like her. She rubbed me completely the wrong way. And she was the type of person that was just like, you know what, you're here, whatever, let me take care of you. Like, it was, ugh. And so I tell her everything. I gave her the claim number, blah, blah, blah. And she walks out with the box. Now, mind you, I'm already getting upset because, you know, the phone is refurbished. I didn't want a refurbished phone. I want a new one. And they obviously don't do that, like, ever. So I was like, okay, fine. But when she opened the box, I she shows me an iPhone 5, and she's like, this is what we have. And she's like, oh, I can, but, and I'm like, but no, I was told I was going to get the same, you know, model, or like, and I'm surprised, and even though if you didn't have that model and you're going to give me something refurbished, aren't you supposed to go like a model newer? And the lady was like, oh no, unfortunately this is what we have, and da 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 da. And I'm like, and I'm looking at her, and I'm really pissed off at this point in time. So I call my grandmother. This is even funnier. I start talking to her in English because I'm just that upset. Like, I lost all, like, recognition of Spanish. Like, that just went out the window, and I started speaking to her in English. And the lady calls over one of the guys that works there, and she tells him to explain to me what the difference between an iPhone 5 and an iPhone 5C is. Like, I'm retarded, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I don't know what the hell these phones do, when in all reality, it is that the iPhone 5C had a stronger signal, And on top of having a stronger signal, the battery was better. Now, I got this refurbished phone, and this lady wanted to send me 2 hours away to another T-Mobile so I could go see if I could find another phone. And I told her, you know what? Just don't even worry about it. Just leave it there. Just give me the phone before I end up freaking breaking your head or something, because I'm just to the point to where I'm crying because I am just that enraged. Like, it takes a bit for me to get that upset, you know what I mean? And for me to get that upset, because this is my cell phone. This is like something I love. This is my device, you know what I mean? This is basically my life. This is what I work my entire life with, you know what I mean? My cell phone. My videos are recorded on my cell phone. All my Tumblr, listen to me. All my tweets are from my cell phone. All of my Facebook statuses are from my cell phone. All of the videos that I view on YouTube are on my cell phone. Like, I do everything, literally. If I have to video chat with somebody, if I have to listen to music, if I have to do, like, everything. And this lady just didn't care. She didn't even want to be bothered. Like, she didn't even care. She was just doing her job, and that was it, whether I was pissed off or not. And, and, um, and then on top of that, I had to give her my old phone, which I was upset about that too, because you know what? If I had that one, at least I was able to do more things, or if not, just sell it on like usell.com. Not a sponsor because I'm not sponsored by anybody yet, but by sell it to usell.com and see if I can get some money out of it so I can actually pay it off. You know what I mean? But I couldn't because they insisted on keeping it. So I was like, all right, fine. Take the phone. Give me the iPhone 5. To be honest with you, I have a bunch of cases here that I had that I wasn't able to use because I didn't have an iPhone 5. So now I get to use them again. You know, I actually like my iPhone 5 from Sprint. I loved it. You know what I mean? It's the same freaking thing. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just take it. And that's how I walked in with an iPhone 5C and walked out with an iPhone 5. It's craziness. Like, and then on top of that, if I ever call customer service, it's even worse. Like, on the phone, I was on the phone literally for like an half an hour with a customer service. I know that's not very long, but it's because I hung up on the dude because he was just seriously just irking the shit out of me. Like, he just bothered me to no point. Like, it was horrible customer service. The guy didn't want to do anything for me. I was having signal problems just as well as all of their other customers here in my town because one of the towers went down. Unfortunately, nobody had 4G whatsoever. Apparently, Android users weren't able to use their phones at all unless they had Wi-Fi. And I, luckily, had the iPhone 5C that had LTE data on it, that has LTE capabilities on it. So I was able to get the LTE internet and be able to still, you know, watch videos and movies and YouTube and everything else, etc. And you know, so it wasn't that bad, but in terms of making phone calls, I need to call people. I need to call my pharmacist. I need to call, you know, and make appointments with my doctor and to make to get routine checkups into this and to that. You know, I got to make appointments to get insurance. I got to make appointments, you know, so I got to make different appointments. I got to call different people, find different things out, you know, and it's and even on top of talking to my family, and it's horrible when these people are serious. Like, I called, okay, because I'm jumping ahead of myself. I called and they opened a thing called a ticket. They opened a ticket and the guy supposedly wanted to work on it that I was talking to, but he never did anything and left it open. The second time I called, they opened another ticket and they proceeded to close the ticket, stating that they knew that the signal problem was going on and that the tower was down, but since the weather has been so bad, they haven't been out there to fix it. Seriously, dude? Put on a freaking raincoat and go do your job. Like, no lie, like, that's I was in shock when I was explaining this, because I wasn't even explained to this by T-Mobile Puerto Rico. No, I had to get that pissed off. Okay, hold on, again, jumping ahead of myself. Oh my goodness. So going back, so I called a third time, and I'm like, okay, this is ludicrous. It's been 4 months already. No, I can't make a phone call as well as anybody else around here can't make a phone call. What's going on? Oh, and then that's how that all broke out, because then I started hearing about the tickets and everything, and nothing's being done about it. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been 4 months. Is there anything you can do? And the guy didn't offer anything. You know, normally when you call customer service and you're that upset and you're not able to use a service, they automatically give, like, talk to their supervisor to see if they can give you a credit. Dude didn't even want to do that. I asked to talk to his supervisor because I was that upset. He didn't want to give me his supervisor, even though it's obligatory that as soon as a customer asks for it's T-Mobile policy, sorry, not obligatory. T-Mobile policy that if a customer on customer service line asks for a supervisor, you are automatically to put them on hold and to go grab your supervisor and put them on the phone. The guy refused. All his excuse was is that unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear everything that's going on, but unfortunately, if I do put my supervisor on the phone, he's just gonna tell you the same thing I'm gonna tell you. Really, dude? Really? I don't care. I need to get this dude on the phone because obviously you need to be fired because you're not doing your job. Point blank. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I hung up with him and I had to call T-Mobile USA. T-Mobile USA, thank you. Thank you so much because they helped me out. The lady was in shock by my situation. She saw everything there, and she was able to give me a credit. I don't even know how because supposedly T-Mobile USA isn't allowed to interfere with T-Mobile Puerto Rico accounts and change or do anything or make adjustments. And it was just the craziest thing ever. Like I had to call them, and after she did her thing, she was really nice. I forget her name unfortunately, but she was super super nice. And this is why I like to deal with American customer service because they are the bomb. You know, AT&T's right there with them. They have amazing customer service, and it's a shame that Puerto Rico is giving T-Mobile Puerto Rico and T-Mobile in general a bad name. You know, so after the lady did what she did, she transferred me over to tech support, and tech support was livid. Like he was livid. Like I don't think I've ever called customer service and upset customer service before. Normally it's the other way around. No, I upset him because he was shocked at how I was being treated, what was going on, and how they were going about the situation. Like he was pissed. Like I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before. So he supposedly shot an email to his uppers over there in T-Mobile USA so they can get a hold of the people in T-Mobile Puerto Rico, but apparently it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, you know. So those are my experiences with cell phone companies so far. To be honest with you, like I don't have very much to complain about other than that. You know, Signal's been alright, but like I said, in the 5C it was a lot better. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening to me rant and to just blow my lid off of with this freaking T-Mobile mess. Like and comment down below, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Peace.